This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons, like Chris, Dalamud Papodo, Smooth Sailing, Scry de la Rosa, Reinat Chikara, Lilium Tenebrae, Kylin, Ignal the Dragon, Jamie Asur, Elam, Lily Black, Cheshire Soltiri, Meili Algidam, Cicerifu Lilirifu, Ariel, Courtney, Dimos, Casey Schaefer, and Omega Cat Comet. Support the show and become a patron today at SpeakersXIV, no, patreon.com/SpeakersXIV.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Aorcians. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 113. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Yas, Pot, Rollo Des, and Maela Vanadar.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh boy. In this episode of Speakers of Eidolon,
Oh god, same.
we're going to talk about patch 4.41, because there was a patch. Something happened with the patch, and what a sell. And chaos, for the most part, but also the JP and North American data centers have been experiencing some technical allegedly experiencing some technical difficulties. We'll also read some MogMail, and the MogMail today is going to lead into a great discussion. I'm not going to say what it is just yet, but it might be related to Balmung. In the post-show...
This always goes well. That goes well every time we talk about
Dark
Balmung.
Lucal's face.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Don't we all?
Thanks for that.
Same. In the post-show, we'll premiere Fallen Rise episode 8, so do make sure to get that. Also, the post
Whoa.
Fallen Rise
That's news.
discussion.
Kept that one under your hood, didn't you, Luke?
It's in the show notes.
Kept that one under your hood, didn't you, Luke?
Jesus Christ. And in channel update, Secrets of a Realm will premiere next week, so I keep hearing things in here. I don't know what's happening. I think this house is just falling apart.
Are we in I feel like I'm having
Oh
a
my God.
fever dream today.
Is this a real episode?
Is this real? Am I alive?
Okay,
That's
let's
all dream.
let's-
Check your shower.
start off by not even quick news today, because literally nothing has happened other than the two things, the patch and the technical difficulties. The latter we'll start with. So it's been pretty weird. It all sort of started on October 1st. That's when the data centers went down, and all of them went down at 12:41 p.m. PDT. I don't know what that is in GMT, but you guys figured that out. Everything died. I was in Pagos. I was struggling in Pagos when everyone got DC symbols, and then it all died. The dream died. Square Enix released. It was quiet for a while. There was like no official word for a while. And then eventually they told us that our upstream internet service provider is currently experiencing performance degradation. Thank you, Mala. In certain internet routes, resulting in players experiencing the issues below. And the issues below were disconnecting from North America EU data center worlds, difficulty logging in to North American and EU data center worlds, and users, this is the worst one, guys, users with characters on the NA EU data centers are unable to access the Final Fantasy XIV companion app.
Oh,
Dude, that is
it's
actual...
fucking lost.
That's horror.
God.
That's horror. The data centers would continue to stay, so they didn't actually go down in the traditional sense, because they would still be listed. I think at least on the first day they were sort of listed as online still on the launcher.
Well, because the server in the room was still working just fine.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Which is True.
Yeah.
Just couldn't connect to it.
Well, see, then you could connect, because Milo, you were online throughout the whole event. Milo
Yeah, I
never left
got
the server on that
DC'd.
day.
Don't know what you're all complaining about, to be
But
honest.
I kept disconnecting, and everyone else on Limsa, except for a select few, disconnected. So it was very random.
It
And
really brought Limsa Shout Chat together, though. Oh,
I can
we
imagine.
had a special moment
I
that
wish
night.
I could see that.
I'm sure it was very special.
Yes. And then on October the 4th and the days before that as well, there were I think throughout the whole like October 2nd and 3rd as well, Chaos specifically would struggle with these issues quite a bit. Like it would just go down in the same way, like random people would get kicked. And on October 4th, a follow-up was issued. We would like to share an update regarding the network issue. Upon investigation, we have confirmed that our network environment, as well as our game and account servers, are not experiencing any internal errors. The cause of the login interference appears to be a large-scale internet issue occurring across Japan. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, but we ask for your patience until recovery of the large-scale network issue.
But so wait, it was an issue in Japan.
But Chaos went down.
It
Did
was
they mean
large
that?
scale, yes.
It was very large scale. Reached
was
all the way to
Worldwide,
Europe.
almost.
So that's unrelated to the one before, the problems earlier?
No,
Like,
these are follow-ups to the
follow-up.
original.
So all these
alert.
problems are happening in Japan, but it's affecting servers in NA
Well,
and EU?
as it will become apparent in the next follow-ups, I don't think they quite knew what was going on.
Right. Because I was gonna say that doesn't even make sense on the surface level. If somebody
Right.
told me that, I'd be like, "What?"
Yeah. So on the same day, follow-up number 2. Upon further investigation of the ongoing network technical difficulties, we discovered that a DDoS attack is targeting multiple upper-level ISPs, which in turn is affecting our servers. The large-scale attack is affecting various regions of the network connected to our servers and appears to be causing severe internet issues. We are currently contacting various upper-level ISPs to further confirm the issue and to develop countermeasures. So at this point, they're starting to sort of get a better picture of it. I think the Japan thing, I don't even quite get why they
It
would.
doesn't seem like that's related at all.
Seems a little bit
Yeah.
unrelated, especially to the
Right.
Chaos
That's
issue.
strange.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, on October 4th, the Chaos would still struggle, and it would be very annoying. Especially, it would usually occur at around 6 p.m.-ish my time, 5 p.m. GMT, and throughout the
prime
night.
time.
Yeah, prime time. And the next day, this is not a follow-up. This is a brand new post that's literally titled "Network Technical Difficulties Caused by DDoS Attacks" and came out on October 5th, yesterday. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties due to a DDoS attack. Players may experience the following issues as a result. That is disconnecting and difficulty logging in. Difficulty accessing, sending, and receiving data from EU data centers. This didn't really. That was all the information we got. And again, Chaos would be a mess. It would live up to its name. And today we got some clarification. We would like to take this opportunity to inform you of the current situation regarding the DDoS attacks we've been experiencing since October 4th, 2018. Currently, we are intermittently experiencing DDoS attacks on all JP, NA, EU data centers, targeting our game servers and network equipment. So this is a targeted attack.
Wow, yeah, that's suddenly changed to being like against 14.
Yeah. We have been implementing and strengthening various defensive measures against this issue, and has thus far been able to avoid any major server outages. However, the attacks are still continuing to take place as the method of attack is continually changing. We will continue to monitor and work on recovery from every possible angle to keep the effect on our customers to a minimum. So, yeah, that's... yeah.
It seems like there's so much... I don't really understand this, because it's like... At first they're like, okay, it's the whole world. The whole world's messed up.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, now it's a problem in Japan, but other people are affected. Oh, wait, now it's only Europe being affected. But then they're saying everything's being attacked. So
And then
why
suddenly
wasn't
it's against them instead of just...
right? So like, why wasn't everything going down the whole time if it was against everyone?
It's very
and it was, like,
strange.
targeted at 14 and
It's
very strange.
It
A lot
is
of
strange. But Ether did, and NA did have some downtime, I believe, was it yesterday? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I think it's been doing pretty fine. Not at all as bad as Chaos, which again was in the yesterday or October 5th announcement. They only specified EU. So why they would in the follow-up say JPNA and EU, I don't understand. And
maybe it's just because it was worse in EU. Like maybe the EU service got hit harder.
Maybe
because the majority of people I heard complaining about it were Europeans.
Yes.
I heard a few people go, oh yeah, NA server's down, but
yeah, I only think
even
it's been down
comparable.
like a couple of times this week.
It was awful on Chaos.
Chaos
It
has
was
been
just
like
sea
almost
of
unplayable.
DC symbols,
Yeah.
and then everyone disappeared, and then shout chat was fun.
Yeah.
Then they all came back, and then it happened again.
Then it happens
and
again.
and
Just when you
again.
think it's back, you're like, okay, at least I'm back in. And then getting like 1,000 people queue, having to wait for that.
Right. When those mass DCs happen, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you lagging at all, Mela, or was it just like?
Oh no,
once the DCs happened, you were fine.
I stood still. It was my theory that if you moved, you were instantly vulnerable to attack. So I never moved.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
just-
I mean,
just
you're not
joined in the shout
wrong,
chat.
because I was online because I was, of course, AFK next to Mala. I click my mouse to get out of AFK mode. I kid you not. The message that appears in chat that tells you that your status has changed lagged, and I got 4 of them in a row, and then it kicked me. So it's like, don't move. Don't move.
Guys, get attacked.
Yeah, make sure not to move.
In dungeon, stay still.
But Chaos has been a
I
problem.
did DC in a dungeon.
What?
I did go into the burn once and DC instantly,
Mm.
and then came back. So maybe that was part
Chaos
of it.
has been a problem for a while
Chaos
now.
has been just
So
for years, to be honest.
Here's
Yeah.
what we need to start doing just to be safe. Have the tank bring all the mobs to you at the start of the dungeon, so you don't have to move.
Yeah.
Right?
Bring the
That-
boss. Come on.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to risk it.
Yeah. But yeah, Chaos again has been a very troubled data center recently, because this isn't the first time Chaos has been down. Like, if you go to this 14 subreddit, it's like a Russian roulette. Like, at some, will I get the "is Chaos down" message on the top today?
Chaos does get shit on a lot.
There was also like that
It's
weird
old equipment.
faulty equipment. Remember that?
Yeah, but they're the newest servers.
Yeah,
I don't
but
think
remember
they
they said that there
Oh,
was
well,
like
I guess they're
actual
not.
physical damage to the servers.
Right.
Well, did we ever confirm what it was? Because a lot of people were like, it's an electrical fire because there was a
One,
Someone hit
thunderstorm.
it with a hammer.
Yeah. Are we running on like,
on it and it melted.
it's like, I keep joking about it, but maybe especially Ragnarok, maybe the legacy in Ragnarok is the actual legacy servers from
There's like
2010.
this big list. There's like all the slots with all the servers in them with labels, and then you get to Ragnarok. It's like this, like burnt, horrible, mangled server.
Like a sticker on it, legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a high voltage surge. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, which damaged
That's not
them.
going to be good for electricity.
Yeah.
equipment.
Maybe they just didn't replace it. They were like, just keep whatever's
It's
still working. It's
fine."
fine.
It's meant to flicker. like that.
Sir, it's sparking and currently dripping fluid.
That means it's on.
Yeah. It's just high traffic.
It's just hungry. We'll put some peanut butter on it.
Yeah.
But again, but if we are to take Square Enix's word on this, even though it is a bit weird that they mentioned JPNNA, if they are DDoS attacks, then that's like, you can't. I like how they say that they have defensive measures, like this is a war.
I know, and they always make it sound like they're gonna fix DDoSes. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
can't.
Would you-
Can't really.
if that was gonna happen, it would have happened already.
Yeah.
People would have been like, yeah, I know how to stop DDoSes.
They're trying
if
though.
it's like if it's just the service providers, they can't do anything, and if it's targeted, then it's a whole different
Yeah.
story,
Yeah,
really.
We really need to know if it was targeted at the high level ISP or if it was targeted at, like, because they kind of make it sound different. Like at first,
Exactly.
like, no, it was an indiscriminate attack on ISP.
It's very
us.
Yeah, because it's very interesting. Because that's why I read them chronologically. Because as you start, they have clearly no clue what's going on, and then they're just like they're investigating, and they get closer and closer to the actual truth. And now they're saying that this is an actual target on their game servers and network equipment. So someone is actively DDoSing Final Fantasy XIV's data center.
And they're not even like usually a simple level DDoS is like, oh, we'll attack their login servers because you don't need an account, you don't need to do anything to attack their login servers. You just fail to log in as fast and as possible as you can, right, with as many computers.
Yeah.
But they're obviously not doing this because it's not the login servers that are being affected; it's the actual game connections. So that's weird.
Yeah.
It's not a simple one.
No, but hopefully they'll stop. Please stop DDoSing the game.
Yeah, people usually get bored.
Yeah, they do. Right. Also makes me wonder, like, who's doing it? Why?
I mean,
we never
usually,
find out.
Yeah.
Well, because you're not supposed to. Because if he's like announced who it is, and they just get notoriety, and that's what they want.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, that is true. That is a good
So
point.
it's better just to be like, we're gonna DDoS. We'll do something about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's just something we have to live with in this day and age. MMOs are targets.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, let's move on to patch 4.41.
Oof,
It was a
biggest patch of the century.
patch that didn't really bring a lot of good stuff, but it did make some changes to Pagos. Pretty big change, actually. The EXP challenge log entries have been increased, so you get a lot of EXP now. Like, you already got a lot from the challenge log, but you get a lot now.
It's finally fun content.
Yeah. Also, light has been increased. Is it 200%? So that's insanity. So if you, I mean, if that was the main reasons you didn't want to do Pagos, like the light gain and the slow EXP gain, I think this might be the time. A lot of new people in Pagos now.
That's good, because I didn't want to go back in because I was like, I'm never gonna find a party at 21.
Right.
You know, at this point.
That's the sort of the reason I don't do Pagos.
You should do it now then, because now there are lots of new because of this.
Do I have to?
You don't have to.
You
don't have to.
Don't do it.
I'm
Love
doing
yourself.
it though, which is, I don't understand why, but I'm almost done now. Right. They also added the echo to Sigmascape Savage.
Wow.
Wow.
What a surprise. Yeah, the ether thing I just mentioned. So PvP.
It's all whoa.
So they've adjusted PvP actions again. They do this every patch. It feels
every
like
minor
now.
patch, it seems like.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah.
This is the time.
And it's always like so much. It's not like, oh, there's one adjustment.
Do you remember like we
Yeah.
were just taught like it was like 2 weeks ago when we were like, oh, White Mage benediction thing. Like that was literally 2 weeks ago.
Yes. It's with every patch. It's like, be it big or small, because that was like a big patch. And now here's the follow-up patch and they're adjusting it again. So, I'll just read them. Warrior, recast time reduced 60 to 45 seconds.
That's on Home Gang.
Oh, I didn't say the actual skill.
Warrior.
The recast time for Warrior has been reduced. Sorry, that's Holm Gang. Power Slash, reduction to target's HP recovered by healing magic has been increased from 10 to 15%. The Blackest Knight's recast time has been increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Woohoo! Dragoon, Chaos Trust's damage has been damage dealt has been changed from 10% to 15%. Love how they said that that's been changed and not increased. That's not very consistent language. Monk Demolish, increase to damage dealt has been changed from 10 to 15%. Samurai, okay, maybe not read all of these. They're kind of boring. But I think we need to talk about...
It's because it's a buff. That's why. It's not like the skill damage. That's why it's worded.
Oh, of course. I see. Okay, White Mage. They removed the last... the last reason to have the lilies in PvP. The effect reduces a size recast time by a percentage corresponding to the number of healing lilies stacked at the time of action execution has been removed. Recast time has instead been reduced from 60 to 30 seconds.
So is Protect the only thing in PvP that now...
It's the only skill White Mages have, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Protect, yes. The one that you don't use lilies in the real game.
Right.
So the only use of lilies, I might even be wrong. Protect might not even still use lilies, but
I think the percentage of the Protect's protection is based on the lilies. Unless they have changed it in
So-
one of the million patches that we've had.
I can't follow it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to
Genuinely
spend a while healing people before you can cast Protect on them to protect them. from
Yeah.
it.
It's very
no, Protect was just like a 30-second cooldown.
Oh, okay.
good. Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
It's like a 10% damage. It's how it should be, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, Tetra still
Yeah,
does.
like
use
Didn't
the
they
limit.
remove
emergency
Tetra with the
thing.
last patch though?
No, they removed Benediction.
They removed Benediction.
Yeah.
They always swapped
Replace it with
Tetra.
Tetra. Yeah.
They put Tetra back in last patch.
That.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they
They first
don't patch
removed
us.
it, added Benediction,
first
then they
removed it,
removed
put it back
Benediction and
in.
added
Why
Tetra.
this is such
Right.
a mess.
I mean,
Hey,
if
guys.
anything, it just shows that they don't know what to do with White Mage.
Yeah.
They
Also,
have
why
no
is-
idea.
They don't know what they
Why-
need to do to PvP.
Why is this stuff happening when there's a tournament going on?
It's
Yeah,
probably, I
That's
don't
a big
know.
point, Rolo.
Like, because shouldn't you have like kind of a stable kind of environment for PvP when you're doing some high level competitive stuff?
Yeah.
The
Wouldn't
game
that
just doesn't lend itself to PvP, and they just can't fix it.
it
can
could
they?
lend itself to PvP, but they don't.
Here's the thing
did a
that
very
I
good
don't
job.
understand is it takes them 7 fucking years to make a change when everyone asks for it in PvE. People are like, "Hey, can you just change the skill, fix it real quick?" And they're like, "Yeah, wait until 6 months when we do the next patch." But they're updating this shit mid season,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
the worst time to do it. And they're like, "Yeah, we can do it anytime you ask." Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't make any sense. Why did we wait so long for samurai buffs? When apparently it's that easy. And they
Yeah.
can do it every 2 weeks if they want to. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Do it with PvE, guys.
Is it just like a
Like-
different team on PvP? Like they have their own dedicated kind of
Maybe
group?
the balancing team is different.
Maybe
yeah.
they don't have a team for it.
I mean, that would be my guess if that's why things are getting pushed out so quickly for them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Maybe.
There's just like a group there working.
I
Yeah.
really wish they would just delete this and then focus that extra attention on balancing PvE content. Not that's not me saying PvE content is like unbalanced, by the way. I'm just saying it could be even better if they put these resources towards it, especially fixing skills mid-patch would be very nice.
Yeah.
No, because then people might feel like they got their wins unfairly because
Oh.
PvE wins are valuable, whereas PvP
Right.
wins aren't.
Right, that's true,
So
that's
you're
true.
allowed to change PvP.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You're right. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Absolutely. They've also made changes to Adrenaline Rush.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
whoa.
duration has been reduced from 15 to 10 seconds for Aegis Boon? Raw Destruction's
Boon.
potency has been increased from 8,000 to 9,000.
That's 9,000.
For Raw
damage.
Destruction, sorry. Did I say that? I don't even know what I'm doing. This is a fever dream, indeed.
That's the only thing about PvP that I like is that the potency is actually just the exact damage it does.
Yeah.
Pretty
Right.
much.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I liked that.
Is it? Is it just like a really high
It's
potency?
pretty
That's
much,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's high potency, and like since there's no armor or like stats, there's no
Yeah.
defense stats or anything to deal with.
Pretty good.
Season 10 of the Feast will begin with this patch. So, hello, Siri. Yeah, so do enjoy that.
If you've been struggling to
Get
get
in
the trophy,
mhm.
maybe this
I
is
want the
season
mount.
for you.
I do want the
the
mount.
helicopter one.
What's not this one?
Oh, I just want
The helicopter one.
Hellhound mount.
Oh,
right,
the Hellhound.
I
Oh,
think you
yeah.
can still get that if you win, regardless. So you can get old
Really?
rewards, right? Or no?
no. They're
I thought they
No.
changed
season
it.
specific.
Didn't they add in a system where you get tokens depending on how good you
Yeah,
do?
that's
you
what
can buy
that's
things
what I
with
was
tokens?
thinking. I
So
thought
that's
they
for
changed.
weapons.
That's for weapons.
just weapons.
And gear,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm never gonna do it then. Like, I would maybe do it for the mounts,
Mm.
but I'm good.
What do you
Mhm.
mean? We can still see Yas.
I don't know.
Does he not be going?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry.
normally I vanish.
Yeah.
Oh, slink down your chair right now.
Oh, that's what.
Oh.
I haven't had
oh.
any reason to yet.
Why? Yeah,
just
we've
wait
just.
till the great discussion.
Yeah. Uh,
Yep, yeah.
The following issues have been addressed. There's some issues that have been addressed. Oh, we start with PvP. An issue wherein PvP actions increase the adrenaline gauge under certain conditions.
What an issue.
Wow, that's a big issue. An issue wherein the correct animation was not displayed when racing KO'd squadron members. The important
Oh,
stuff is being
no.
patched. An issue wherein the dot used to indicate items with 100% spirit bond in the inventory was displayed in the wrong color.
I didn't even know there was a dot.
There's a dot for that?
Wasn't there like a Reddit post about it? I remember like someone said like, yeah, this was the wrong shade of green. They changed it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. But it was like
dots.
there's like a little dot when it's like fully spirit bound, and it's like a green dot.
Is this is this hardcore content for casuals?
Yes.
Is that what this is?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I understand now.
And this one was a big issue.
It was a slightly different green color.
Yeah, it was. I completely forgot that we even had. Wow. I need to look at that when I log in. That's going to be exciting to look at that dot.
Look at that when you log in, guys.
There's killing God Kefka, and there's noticing the dot. Like
that is
right here.
I mean, that's pretty important. This was a big issue that we didn't actually talk about last week. An issue wherein the item silver rivets required to make wooden showcase could not be obtained.
Oh yeah.
So they had to change the recipe. That reminds me of that Moogle clock, where it asked for an item that no longer existed in the game, or it did exist, but you couldn't get it. An issue wherein this one's good. An issue wherein the brick garden circle outdoor furnishing could not be obtained through any means. This is part of a 2-item set, together with the bird bath, as selected from the 14 furnishing design contest. I don't understand what that means, but in my head, I feel like they accidentally added the bottom of the bird bath as an individual item on the market board. And people were trying to get it. Is that true, chat? Because if it is the best thing that they've ever done wrong. But yeah, that's what it says. It does say that the brick garden circle outdoor furnishing could not be obtained through any means.
Why would you sell that separately? What are you going to do with the tiny brick circle?
Exactly. It's the bottom of the bird bath. So when people got the bird bath, I assume it didn't have a bottom. Is it true? Oh my god. That is... That's worthy of an applause. I love how it even had a name. Brick Garden Circle. So someone at Square Enix has been like, oh wow, here's all the assets. And that thing probably... And he just... How did they do that? How did they split it in two? And he's like, that has to be Brick Garden Circle, I guess. Because it's made of brick and it's for the garden. Brick Garden Circle? I'll put that in.
Brick garden circle?
Oh, they are separate items. Okay.
That's embarrassing. But then I suppose it would be nicer to have the bird bath with no base, and then you can choose what.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, an issue wherein glamours could not be cast on the Yangshan Merchant's Haori chess piece. Fixed. An issue wherein the action help text for the White Mage PvP action as size was incorrect. It was even incorrect before they changed it.
A mess, dude. It's just a mess.
Only text has been changed. No changes have been made to the action itself, except for the changes you literally put in the notes.
Right. They just said they changed it.
Jesus Christ. I feel like the PvP thing is just... There's just a team that's just constantly in panic. Like, everything is just broken and nothing works, and no one's helping them. They're, like, left to their own devices. It's like, oh my god.
I feel like they've changed... They've saved quite a critical error for just a tiny footnote as this last one.
Yeah, I love this one. An issue affecting the PlayStation 4 version wherein entering text could cause an error and force the client to close.
That's a pretty big issue.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, I love that. It's just tucked away at the end.
Way, yeah. There's a brick circle that's not meant to be there. Oh, by the way, the critical error that broke the game. We fixed that too.
Yeah.
Type in the chat. Character gets deleted. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our main news today. Boy, we have a lot of time, so I sure hope we can talk a lot about the MogMail. And this there's actually 2 MogMails we're to discuss today. It's part of and it'll become the great discussion. I'll read out the first one because I actually have that rendered. It's from
Ernest Farad.
It's Ernest Farad Sawin from Balmung. So how do you feel about role players? honestly. So I want to pair that with another one, which will take... I think maybe I'll read the other one. I don't have that rendered. I want to take the other one as well. This one's from Kylin Sargatanis. Yoshida has mentioned in recent interviews that he sees content such as the perform action and housing roleplay as being important to the future of 14. I take this to mean that he thinks it's going to be important for 14 to offer more gameplay that is social in nature and not combat focused. What do you think of this? And based on your experiences with other MMOs over the years, what do you think success in this area would do for the health of the game? Should we start with the second question first? Because I feel like the first one is deeper. They're actually very linked. They're very linked.
I'll do the second one first.
Yeah, I think the second one is better.
I think it's an MMO, so obviously social things are important, and I feel like when we used to, hang around in Limsa and just mess about, I had quite a bit of fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also generally don't interact with people in this game, so I don't know. I wouldn't just walk up to some random person and start performing at them or
right.
Whatever. So
I do. I played the Flintstones theme for you.
Yeah, you.
I don't doubt that one bit.
Yeah,
so
I can understand that.
If you see me in Limsa, I'm probably just playing the Flintstones theme.
Yeah.
So watch out.
Yeah.
On the bongos.
I feel like I don't want it to become like this game is more of just a glorified chat room.
Right.
Because I think this game is the best current MMO for PvE raiding, like hardcore raiding content.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fights are very well made.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they take a bit of focus off that, it's pretty much all this game's got going for it, in my opinion. Like, to set it apart from other MMOs. Because they all offer some,
that really ties into what I was gonna say too. It's like Yoshida does seem to have this like stance that like if we don't do this, then we're gonna fail, right? Like if we don't add all this stuff. But really, like no other MMOs have to do that because they just make fun content for everybody.
Yeah,
like they don't. It's just not something that you have to do. But I think the way that they've designed the game to cater to they have done the biggest job of separating their players out of any MMO I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They have like hardcore players and casuals. They're a mile apart. They're not even related. Where in most other MMOs, that's not really the case. There is some mix and blend and you can go do content with anybody to some degree. But this game has totally ripped them apart, right? So now I feel like they're like, oh God, now we have we have to make content for these guys and now content for these guys, which is like they've screwed themselves in that respect. So they have made it so they almost have to do that, which, I mean, it's no one's fault of their own. But
what they maybe should be doing is trying to bridge the gap with mid-core content.
Yeah,
that's what they should be doing. Yes, I agree, 100%. 100%.
I think either way, and I think everyone can kind of admit this, there's a lot of downtime in 14 in between, like, not like between patches, but like while you're queuing up for stuff, while you're doing things, while your friends are getting maps. All that, like if you're doing maps or if you're in Pagos and you just wait for shit, like there's all that kind of stuff. And I think it's nothing wrong with adding stuff to do. Like that's just social to kind of fill in that time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's fun. I like it. Like I don't think it's 100% necessary, but I think it's a very nice kind of little bit of garnish on the game. It's nice. I think everyone, you don't have to like. I don't think everyone has to like perform, but I think I don't know. You hear someone playing a nice song, and you're like, "Hey, this is nice."
Yeah, as long as it's not like interfering with, combat stuff like the other content, then sure, adding stuff like perform shouldn't be a problem. And I think also we've talked about this before, but MMOs are in a weird spot now. Like we don't really know what's happening to the MMO because we're kind of in the valley where not much is happening. People want more casual stuff. And I think that's what he's trying to get at here. But I do agree that we need more mid-core content. We don't have a lot of mid-core content in the game, and the stuff that we have is, it's a bit stale now.
Yeah, I think it's also important to differentiate between what I would call fluff content and social features.
Right.
Yes.
I think the game needs fluff content, which they do very hit and miss. Laws of Dominion, obviously a hit. And,
Of course.
some other things not so great.
The gold saucer, not a
gold
hit at all.
saucer, awful, rubbish.
Failure.
Never.
Don't add to it. Never add to
Yeah,
it.
just ignore that.
Yeah.
And then like social content where it's like new emotes, the tags for your houses, perform. I don't know. Maybe like interactive emotes where you can like pick someone up or whatever. I don't know, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like social content. Whereas I want more fluff. I want pet battles. I've said it before. I want pet battles. I want Pokemon.
I
in this
agree.
game.
I agree. I agree with you.
And what
100%.
Yeah.
I'm fine with social content. A calendar, for example, in-game calendar is social content in my opinion, and I'd like that.
Yeah.
I think
but,
they I think they overthink everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I feel
think
like
so,
if they just went, okay, let's calm down for a second and just like look at this at a really basic level, and then I think things would make a lot more sense.
Mhm.
I think they're trying to go super obscure and like we gotta make something that no one's ever done and
Right.
this and that, and it's like
Yeah.
no, you don't actually have to do that. You can actually just do it.
There's a lot you can carbon copy.
There's a lot you can carbon-
Successful.
Exactly right.
I think they should just steal pet battles from WoW. Like whatever.
Yeah,
That's what I
Yeah.
know. That's what.
Just do
Yeah,
it.
of
Who
course.
cares?
I don't even think they need to do that. They don't have to steal that specifically, but they can just like if there's an idea but somebody else has already come up with it, just do your own version on that idea. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's how we got
you know?
Lords of Vermilion.
Yeah.
We got pet
You
battles.
know
That's
what? You know what,
true.
Rolo? You're right, and I take back my entire statement.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
Just
Actually, don't
copy
do
it.
that.
Just carbon copy.
Just copy it. Just copy it.
It's fine. No one will notice.
They could have
Yeah.
done so much better with the Lords of Dominion.
If
They
it was
chose the
done
wrong
well,
thing.
yeah.
They could have done Pokemon battles, or they could have done something unique and like done tactics battles,
Mm-hmm.
like on a grid, and you do like a Final Fantasy Tactics style battle. They
Mm-hmm.
chose to do League of Legends. Fine.
That's
Yeah.
not League.
Well, if
Lords of Vermilion is what it is.
Lords of Vermilion,
yeah,
yeah.
it is.
But,
Yeah.
It's not even
but you
close to
control
what they're
every
saying.
character on the game.
Yeah.
That's an RTS.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
they
it's a weird
didn't
one.
they didn't know what they were doing.
Still
Again, I
impresses
think
me, though.
I think they just overthought it.
Yeah,
Right.
But if
like
yeah,
instead of
Remember the
picking
ad
something that's instead of thinking of something that is like digestible and simple and that people understand, they chose some obscure fucking game mode.
Yeah.
Really? Like, why would you do that? Just calm down.
but like Mala just said, it is actually quite impressive. Like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
actual system.
You can drag and select them
That's-
all. You can move. It's really
That's a
good,
lot
but
of
it's
work
so bad
There's
at
a-
for
the
a
time.
actual
gold
RTS
saucer minigame.
Yeah.
Like a full real RTS
Yeah.
HUD.
It looks like they put
And-
more effort into making Lord of Verminion than Chocobo Racing.
Absolutely.
For sure. And Chocobo Racing should be a million times better.
Yeah.
It
It
should.
shouldn't have a 10-minute input.
Yeah.
Right.
It should have been like a light Mario Kart, not like
Absolutely.
hmm
not this weird lane thing.
Why does
We're
Lords of
switching
Vermilion run in 60 FPS and that's super smooth? Whereas in Chocobo Racing, you press space to jump up and get the box, and you jump about 2 minutes later.
Again, because they overcomplicate things and just don't keep it simple. Right.
Right.
Like
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're just trying to be brand new.
But if we're now we're just talking about fluff content in general, but Yoshi P has
It still
been
ties in.
adamant on the
Mm.
RP part. He's very he remember when he mentioned fishers?
Oh yeah, if you want to roleplay as a fisher, we got something for you.
That's coming up. That's in the cards for the future. What do you think that
What does
means?
that mean?
Well, what I can
have
say
no-
about I have an opinion on that, and I think it's fair enough. And I'm just thinking like they add content like Ultimate. Doesn't take all that much work, but it is still work. It's still a decent amount. Like they still have to do quite a bit of, they have to set aside employees for it. That's for 1% of people, less
Mhm.
than 1%.
Yes.
This stuff is also for 1%, but it's for a different 1% of people.
The Fisher RP for
Mm.
sure.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's for just as small amount of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would be a bit contradictory of me to say
Yeah.
that's stupid, but something that's for a different 1% is not stupid.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not
That's
saying
kind of how I feel.
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. What I'm
No,
saying
I know,
is
but
like
that's how I'm explaining.
what
my
does this
opinion.
even mean? He also he did also say Disciples of Hand and Land. Like role play features for crafters and gatherers. I don't
I mean, I
Oh.
think they're just going along the lines of something like Perform. Not, it won't be maybe music related, but it could be
Mhm.
I don't know, something you can just do on your.
so you can role play
site.
fish.
No, you know, you defish the bone, and then you the fish, and then you put the
it could be
xylophone.
very simply just be new emotes for them.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah.
I've got a great idea how you can roleplay as a fisher.
Mhm.
Wow, this just popped into my head. Like, I feel like they've maybe never heard this before. Maybe they could add a tackle box. I just thought of this. Like, I've never thought of this before, but maybe they should add a tackle box.
Maybe
That'd be
what
good
they
There are
could
RP.
too
do,
many
yes.
packets, yes, and
That'd be
bits
really good RP,
going
man.
going into the server. The
Hmm.
bits and the packets, they get
Oh,
too big.
wait. Oh, chocobo saddles. Oh,
Too
okay.
big. Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that? Yes, they could make fishes.
Oh, wait.
specific
Too many,
belts.
too many bits.
Oh
Yes.
wait, they just doubled the chocobo saddle. with
No,
the premium.
too
for
many
the-
bits.
that's right. They
Yeah.
can't do it.
No, too many
Yes, they've
bits.
not got enough unique identifiers for
I
items.
fucking hate.
They've
this
run
shit,
out of
dude.
keys. They've run out of
Oh,
inventory
Oh,
keys.
Okay.
Okay.
What if it's just like they plan to make fishing more intricate or something? Like it wasn't 15.
I doubt it.
I
I
thought you were
doubt
about
it
to
too.
say like fucking.
It would
1.0
have to be
fishing.
optional. They won't change
Yeah.
fishing
I
at
mean,
this
somebody-
point.
yeah.
No, they won't change fishing. They will. I'm assuming they'll be more like emotes, unique emotes as a fisher,
I mean,
for instance.
I'm okay with they're like, hey, you can fish in this really obscure, way harder way if you want to for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Like I could see that, but they're not going to be like, you have to catch this fish in VR fishing mode. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah. Okay. What do we think success in this area will do for the health of the game? Do you think this will? Because he has clearly made a stand now. Like they are going to go more towards to increase the RP friendliness of 14, and that's probably no doubt because we have a big RP server, and it's like it's very, very popular. So popular that it has to like close all the time.
I mean, I think what it's going to do is it's going to make people who already do roleplay stick with the game, which fine. If I don't think it's going to make PvPers and hardcore raiders and people who just want to jump in and jump out suddenly think, do you know what? I've always wanted to skin a fish in Limsa Laminsa, and now that I can, I'm definitely going to do that all the time now.
Mel, I think that also actually what you're saying actually also even plays into the whole it's just like Ultimate, because in the same way that this would keep like the Ultimate keeps raiders in who beat Savage and then get bored and they don't log in because they'll be like, okay, I'll log in next tier when they have something challenging to do. They go, oh shit, halfway through I can go do Ultimate. I can come back now. I can stay. I can hang out for a bit longer. It's probably like the same, right?
Yeah,
it's like
they're covering another 1%, and they're still thinking, what should we do with the 98%?
Ignoring the 98%.
Yeah, don't know. No, I agree. Fuck the 98%.
Yeah.
They all suck. Everyone, including all four of us. No, we can go to hell.
I know. It's like.
Well, I think it'd be a little bit weird to say the 1% because of Balmung. Balmung sort of breaks the 1%.
It's not.
Balmung's its own.
Still 1%. It's not actually.
I wouldn't say 1%. It's not.
1% is too small of a number for.
Dude, Balmung.
Have you looked at Balmung?
It's still not as big as you think. It's not like there's like 1 million players on Balmung or anything.
Well, there's not even a million.
It's not, but I would say
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not like the numbers are that insane that it makes up for like 4 or 5 other servers.
Yeah, but comparatively,
like a good 25% maybe.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I would say around 25%.
Absolutely nowhere close.
Population.
What?
Yeah.
Man, that's
Dude,
a bold
25%.
I would say 25% maybe in the West.
Dude,
maybe
I'm not even sure there's 70. The other 75% is players still playing. Like that doesn't make any sense.
We're talking about
man.
active players though,
Yeah,
not of the 40 million that's reported.
That's 25% is absurdly high.
I think 25 is pretty safe.
I don't think it's 1% at least. That's way too low.
I think it's more of a metaphorical.
If you think there are more people, if you think there are more, wait, hold on. You think there are more people? There are the same amount of people doing Ultimate that is role playing in this game. Then something's wrong.
Seriously, like I would say, I'll make the comparison even broader. I would say the normal amount of RPers, a regular RPer, somebody who's a surface level RPer, probably about the same percentage of people that go into Savage.
No.
The people who are go in. I didn't say clear. Go in.
Go in, but like that's okay.
Go in. That just care about raiding enough to try.
That's a wide
right?
net. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's only probably
Yep.
it's probably only 5%, 10% of the players tops
Uh-huh.
that actually step foot in Savage. Then you take Ultimate. It's like the hardcore of the hardcore. It's like a small percentage. Same with our peers. There's a bigger percentage of mediocre mid-core RPers, and then there's like the percentage that blow each other in brothels, you know. And that's probably
there are people who dabble in
Right.
RP, and there are people who spend their entire time in the game RPing. I see what he's saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
And then there are people who do they do extremes. Then there's people who do Savage. Quite a lot of people do Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone clears it, but a lot of people do Savage. And then Ultimate, a fair number of people who can clear Savage jump in. Not so many beat it.
Mm-hmm. We have no numbers. There's no way to gauge.
Numbers,
No, I mean, there's literally it's impossible to do it as well.
Yes.
We'll never have the numbers.
Yeah. Right.
Mediocre RP is kind of weird. Why would you use that phrase?
They're the sort of ones who have, they've got their best intentions at heart, but they can't really spell.
Yeah. Okay. Right. We didn't really answer how because I think in this day and age the MMOs have to like separate themselves, like they have to stand out to survive, because the market is apparently either shrinking or just being eaten up by free-to-play garbage MMOs. So they have to do something that other games don't. Other MMOs have raids. Other MMOs have mid-core content. I think now I'm trying to think like Yoshi P. So hang on here. So I feel like Yoshi P is going, everyone has raids. Everyone has this content. How many games have extensive, massive role-playing, casual content for Disciples of Hand and Land?
I would.
How many games can you gut a fish for roleplay purposes?
There is a lot of them. They're just not very popular.
Exactly.
Because there is a lot of, but Lukiel, they're also not popular for a reason. Because not very many people want to do that.
Which is why it's such a good idea to have a popular game and then patch it
There's
in.
1,000,001 shitty MMOs that are like hardcore RP where it takes 17 minutes to look at a piece of grass perfectly. There's a lot of MMOs out there like that, and there's a reason they're not popular.
Well, which is why
it's a great idea.
No,
Let's
listen,
fucking tank it.
No, so they're doing something wrong then, aren't they?
Of course.
Pote.
No. Actually, I wouldn't say that.
No.
It's
just
for a very
no one likes
it's for
it.
a very small amount of players. It's for
now-
D&D is very popular. Doesn't mean that I RP when I play D&D, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't do when I play video games.
Well, then what kind of?
Right. So it's just like not everyone wants to RP all the time.
Because you don't want to RP in your video game.
I would just say that I think those other obscure MMOs, they're doing it right. They're not doing it wrong.
Doing it in Dungeons and Dragons is the original way to roleplay, and that's why I only do it in Dungeons and Dragons, the original.
That's not even what I'm saying. I'm just saying some people prefer it in certain.
It's actual physical game.
Wow. Wow.
That's
all right. Never mind.
You're a roleplay elitist, yes.
Can I just say?
Yes.
The reason I think that they are trying to look into finding more ways of having long-term content in the game is because their original design philosophy was bite-sized content, bite-sized raids, bite-sized everything. Other MMOs raids are one instance that's really long and has 12 bosses, and you spend the whole week working your way up. This one, you jump in, you kill the boss, you jump out, which is fine, and I like that. But maybe they need to think of new combat focused stuff as well, rather than
I agree.
Just going, well, we've done all we can with that.
I mean,
I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to focus on that stuff, because like at the end of the day, it's just a nice garnish, like you're not going to get someone in the game by saying, hey, look, you can play the bongos. Like if you show them, hey, look, you can play the bongos, but you can also do this FF12 based raid, and you can do this other stuff like that. It's just more to kind of build people up a bit, to get people interested. Because, like, I mean, how many MMOs let you play an instrument?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings Online.
I was just gonna say Lord of the Rings Online.
I mean, I know, but it's not like a large amount, Like it is kind of it's a novelty feature.
Yeah.
Like they're neat things that kind of grab the eye, is what I would say. And I don't know, I think they're pretty fun.
Especially if you can put on a concert.
Yeah.
They get better about the delay. You can
Yeah.
you can do some neat stuff.
Right. So let's talk about the first question. How do you feel about role players? That's a big one.
I'm cool with them.
I don't mind. I think it's...
What was the question? Role players or role play?
Our peers.
Our peers, okay.
For me, it's like, I think RPing's great for the most part. I think 14 specifically has a harder time RP from the outside looking in because of the more anime looking stuff. I think that for real, it gives it a different tone.
You have this weird like view of 14.
Let me finish my thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead.
It has a different it has a different view of like where if you look at somebody RPing in like a Lord of the Rings game, it's like already it's very truly high fantasy. The settings that people have been role playing in for like 60 years, you know?
I see what you mean.
Whereas like anime games, people haven't been role playing in that very long. Cat girls,
there's more of
all
a
that
stigma with anime games being
right,
more lewd stuff.
Exactly.
Whereas Western role playing's more medieval tradition.
Right. 100%.
Listen, you're gonna find some really smutty Western money.
I'm not. No. I'm saying like you go like if you look at the average like Western fantasy that has been prevalent for a long time, it's just kind of like that's the way it's. And
remember, we're looking into this as Western players. The Japanese audience might think Western like Dungeons and Dragons or Lord of the Rings is weird and Japanese anime RP is cool, whatever. But I see what he means.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. That seems like a weird generalization.
I'll put it this way, Rolo. There's no version of medieval RP that has its own like sexual category, whereas hentai exists. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, if there's no Tolkien like porn book series, right? In that
well,
section
there wasn't
of
before
like,
you mentioned it, but
right. I mean, of course there is. I mean, like directly in the thing. Whereas anime and titties goes. That's a pretty thing that you're making. People think anime titties every day, right? You don't think of Lord of the Rings. You don't think of Lord of the Rings and D&D beside titties all that often. Right?
There's some weird shit out there for everything.
Yeah.
I'm saying official shit. Obviously, Rule 34 is a thing. I'm aware of that. Of course, there's Titanic porn. Like, all that stuff exists.
Wait, there's Titanic porn?
Of course there's Titanic porn.
Oh! Just the boat itself.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oof. That propeller.
Like, look at those masts.
Look at those funnels. Okay.
Yeah. Just
cut this bit out.
That it's you know, anime themed and anime and porn and titties is a way easier jump to make than other types of fantasy.
I don't know. I think fantasy porn is pretty prevalent.
I know.
I don't know.
I think this is something we do because we're not part of the role-playing community, but we tend to always slide to the erotic part immediately.
Yeah. So no. This is why
and that is the stigma that we mentioned.
My thought was going is, and that's why people make that conclusion so much easier in this game, right? So like if you're RPing in Ultima Online, people don't instantly make that association of their ERPing automatically, right? I'm saying from personal experience, I've met RPers in a lot of other MMOs, and you don't jump to the conclusion that they're banging instantly. Like that's all they're trying to do is bang, right? Whereas this game, people do have that opinion. I'm not even saying I have that opinion. I'm just saying people do have that opinion. So there's something there that's causing that to happen.
Okay, sorry, right? I'm sorry to interrupt, but we did get another MogMail that I forgot to put in there. It's also linked to this.
Breaking news.
So I'll read this one as well. This is from Momo Kurogane from Balmung as well. Dear speakers, long-time viewer, first-time letter sender. It's no secret that Balmung and role players especially can be a hot-button issue in the community, so I was curious about putting the subject fully on the table. As an active role player, the subject is always very close to home for me, so I might as well ask the obvious question. How do you all really feel about role players and the role-playing community? Is there is there really dislike, or is that just the meme? If yes or no, why do you feel that way? Just thought I'd toss this up. Thanks for putting on such an awesome podcast, and I hope to tune in for many years to come. Okay, so now we have an even deeper question. Thank you.
You're ambitious.
I
think I feel quite. I think I feel a bit sorry for role players in a way.
That's what I'm. Yeah, go on.
Because of this stigma associated with it, when we did the very it was very light-hearted Limsa stuff. I really enjoyed it. Like genuinely, I enjoyed doing it, and I knew it was a bit like sad. And people were probably thinking, "Look at these idiots! What are they doing?" But I enjoyed doing that, and I think it's a bit unfair that it has this overtone to it.
There's a meme.
Because someone might just want to be, I'm a fisherman. I'm fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, role playing.
Get the fish and,
role playing is really fun. Like getting sunk into a character is great fun.
Yeah.
Like
there is definitely a meme within the community, which is why a lot of people are very turned off role playing in 14 because there is that RP equals erotic roleplay all the time. If you're a cat person, then you are just a fuckboy or a fuckgirl. It's just
and that's kind of what I was trying to unpack earlier. Like, what do you guys think it is that about this game that does have that connection immediately being made?
It may just be because they're so vocal in this game.
You think that's it? It's just that they have a louder voice now?
Because then, obviously, the roleplay servers in WoW have very disgusting, horrible, scary stuff happening in Goldshire.
Right, yeah, that's
and
true.
They just sort of get like a free pass almost.
Yeah.
So this game's a bit
I feel like people don't like spread it and shame it as much too.
Yeah, in this,
I feel like WoW, like role players in WoW, they can kind of like they can actually just stay in the shadows for the most part, and people don't really care. They don't like point it out and then be like, everybody look. But on the same token, you also don't see, like, if you go to like the WoW Reddit, you don't see RP all over the Reddit, which is ours is heavily like that. There's a lot of RP fan art, all that stuff on our Reddit.
Well,
so maybe the community focuses on it more?
You just paired fan art with roleplay. That's weird.
I'm just saying like there's a lot more of that type of content, like right in your face. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because roleplay is fan story. Right? That's what it is. It's not like it's real canon just because you do it. It is still fan. It's a fan theory, fan creation. Right?
Yes.
Which is why I kind of just put it in the same category of stuff that fans make. I feel like it's way more prevalent in 14, maybe. And
does that suggest that people feel more comfortable in 14 with it?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Which is a positive event.
Yeah.
For sure.
From the little experience we had when we started this roleplay thing as a joke. It was like Orange and Orange is like the most anti-roleplay that you can find, I think, in the game, because he literally thought it was just a joke. So but it is fascinating how many angry tells you get if you roleplay, because my goodness, would I be bombarded with aggression. I don't know why people are so hostile.
If you're being like in public and like using.
That's true. I will yell at somebody for like emote spamming and shit.
Oh,
it's like, dude, what are you doing? Stop. But that's not. I don't think that's RP, right?
Yeah.
Writing and say is different.
Yeah. I mean, people write and say in Limsa all the time, and they talk about like fucking. I don't know.
They talk about just what they're doing in their lives.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between you saying, "Oh, had a good time at the pub earlier"?
Yeah.
And then me going, "Do you want some boiled eggs, sir?"
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Literally
that's real stupid. If you yell at people for just doing normal RP, like not again, if they're ERPing in public, tell them to go somewhere else. I can agree with that.
ERP is
that's
off.
Fine.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because again, would you bang someone? Would you do it in public in real life? Just follow that rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you're role playing, then you should at least consider that, because you're pretending to be in the real world, and you wouldn't do that in the real world.
Right.
So
but you don't yell at people for just having fun, man. Who like pissed in your Cheerios in the morning? Don't do that.
Yeah.
I guess we should probably say, because we've been talking about ERP and the connections that get made from RPers to ERPs, regular RPing, I think, is like fascinating, and I love watching it. To be honest, if we're just talking about like two dudes like doing like I have some friends that have made like multiple characters and always stick with the 4 of them and play it. It's like, oh, that's super cute to watch. That's fun. That's fun to watch, and it reminds me of D&D, like going on with a group of your friends, and I can see how that's super appealing.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody can have a problem with that, right? Like, that's just weird to be mad at that.
It was very fascinating to see how many people who weren't role players came to watch.
We saw you because we infested Limsa. Like we've talked about this before, but I think we started a wave.
I got yelled at on Balmung for RPing in a yard in housing and in Castramorians, the latter of which was very dogged in their harassment. Happy 11 months.
Harassment. Yeah,
I don't think many people RP in dungeons for a reason.
Yeah, RP in dungeons is a bit. I'll admit that's a bit annoying.
I don't think you should roleplay in dungeons purely because you have to respect the other 4 to 8.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like we do gotta beat this.
Yeah, just like look around. Look at this bush.
You probably shouldn't do that.
I think most people follow that rule though.
Look at the fly on the bush.
I think, as I said last week, I got yelled at for looking at some worms. I wasn't even RPing. I was just taking too long looking at worms.
Worm. Yeah. I roleplay as David Attenborough. Oh, look at the worm. Oh, that's an idea. No, I'm just kidding. Right. So what were we talking about before that happened?
Well, I brought up normal RPing, just like not.
So, do you want to go around and say how we each feel about RPing then, and answer the question?
We still have loads of time, Rolo, so we can talk for a long time.
Rolo, what's your thoughts on role playing in 14 versus say other games, other MMOs, or
First, let me say, people trying to call me out and saying I've seen some shit as a role player. I don't role play. I role played once in like middle school on like a Half-Life 2 Gary's mod server.
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Dark RP?
No, it wasn't Dark RP. It was just like a City 17 fucking role play.
You never played any other role playing games? Like you never played any tabletop role playing games or anything?
I mean, like in a video game role play.
Of course.
In a setting that wasn't designed for RP.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Okay.
Because I just haven't really had the desire to do it. But I don't know. It looks fun. I think making backstories for your character and having them interact with other people that's really fun too. I know some people on our Discord have like their own blogs where they post about their characters like in game. I think it's just kind of neat to read about that. And I like seeing some of the outside content that people make, outside the game. Like there's that one magazine that's like an in-universe newspaper for Balmung or something. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, remember we were at Balmung and we discovered this calendar that I actually bookmarked because that is the most fascinating thing I have ever seen. There's literally like there are events every single day, multiple events. There's even a clinic.
I'm jealous. Yeah, we went to the clinic.
We actually went to the clinic.
We got treated by Lalafan.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. That stuff's kind of cool. Like they have a little calendar for like, hey, we're having a public event.
Yeah,
come on down.
Yeah.
And like,
what's the difference between like clinic roleplay or pub roleplay and like something like the plays that a Stage Reborn do?
Yeah.
They're like in-game.
Yeah, for some reason they get a pass by the overall community. For some reason,
right?
A Stage
Whereas
Reborn.
They're
it's high culture.
Right. Yeah, they're like role playing as actors.
Yeah.
Well, but are they though?
Like
they might not
role play.
They're really deep.
But they might not
as well.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like after they've done their shows, are they just like, I got to go to school tomorrow?
Yeah,
like, I don't know how they act. They might not be role playing outside of their shows, right?
Right.
But
they could they could be like, hey, want to queue up for Aurum Vale right after they're done? Like we don't know that they're actually.
No, they're very professional. I think they've even filed for like they're pretty deep. Like they have like
So you do think they are like
they're professionals?
What I'm wondering is, do they RP like as a theater troupe or anything like that?
I think they do. Not in real life, but I don't think
if they don't roleplay, then if they didn't roleplay, they would just film it and put it on YouTube. I think because they invite people to watch it live, there's at least that element to it.
Yeah, they filed as
was-
non-profit, so they're
really?
real.
That's impressive. I'm glad for them.
Roleplay's fun, guys. You know, do it if you
Roleplay's
want.
cool. I mean,
you're always gonna have.
I roleplay in games like, or at least I make stories for my characters and things like Oblivion and Skyrim.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like it's very difficult to play these games without roleplaying. To some
yeah,
degree.
I agree.
Yeah,
Like, oh, this
I
is
think-
cool.
yeah. The plays are up on YouTube as well. That's
Yeah.
true.
I think you're always gonna get those bad eggs though, that like kind of that people mostly see because like people usually see the
Like
the
orange
dog.
caramel, yeah.
Yeah,
It happens in everything, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
always somebody that's gonna represent a community badly.
yes,
Yeah.
and they
But
are
it's like,
always the ones that you hear the most about.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but I did experience while we did the Limsa thing how quickly it could devolve. Like there were always that one person who wanted to push it in that sexual
Well,
direction all the time.
I mean, I think we actually all can relate to this if you just think about Final Fantasy fans as a whole.
yeah,
Final Fantasy fans get a really bad reputation for being angry and fighting over everything and petty and annoying and
Yeah.
Yeah.
go on forever. When that's not the majority of us, that's a few people that log into every game as Cloud X, Sephiroth X, XX, you know, like all
Yeah.
that shit. Like those fans are the ones who give us a bad name,
yeah,
right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think we can all relate to that in that sense. There's a few bad RPers that are like in shout chat, like, hey, I'm gonna fuck this guy in the back alley, like, come here, what? It's like those people are the ones giving them the bad reputation, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
I do think
Yeah.
though, like I do like RPing a lot. I think it's pretty cool. I think it'd be a really good fun source. I do think it's a bit weird though how like far some people take it when it becomes like their identity is just as an RP. It's like I think that might be a bit
I
weird.
don't have a problem.
I think it's just as weird as people who are elitist and only raid and that's all they can ever talk about and their one thing
Oh,
becomes
God, yeah.
a raider. It's
Mm.
the same
God.
thing in my eyes. If
I've
if
heard
you
of him, yeah.
Yeah,
if you
same.
become super focused
God, yeah,
on
that
one
guy.
thing only.
Mm,
That's scum.
I think I know someone.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, am I? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just as bad as an erotic role player.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
fuck.
essentially the same thing.
Gross. Well, the because I mean Mala, we witnessed firsthand how we in a way inspired someone to open a role-playing free company.
Oh god.
They opened a bar, like they had their FC house became a bar,
Mm.
but then as time progressed, they devolved and it became a brothel,
Yeah.
and just everything
that-
just fell apart.
Do you remember how that gave way to that really dark time though, where Party Finder was full of looking for a boy or girl for fun?
Yeah.
That
It
was
was
so
for like
sad.
a month straight.
Mhm.
It was
full of
somebody
things
just
like
like
that.
I just felt bad. It was like lonely people who are just like, oh, I just want a girlfriend. It's like that's depressing. I couldn't tell if it was real or if it was trolling, but it made me sad inside.
Yeah.
I was just like, this is
Devolved or leveled
looking
up.
for a husband for my.
it just makes me
Dude,
yeah.
they
Looking for femdom to
They-
please kick me in the ass constantly.
They
DM me.
had a giant bed in the lobby,
Yeah.
and they had
With-
chairs like lined around it like a fucking viewing gallery.
It was really weird. They had themed bedrooms.
They had themed bedrooms
Yeah.
where
That's-
people.
When they
I mean,
turned
that's
into a-
behind closed doors, though. Like,
Yeah.
when they were a
Still
bar and
super fucking
restaurant.
weird.
But it started
It's
so nice. It
whatever.
was so nice to begin with, and then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they were a bar and restaurant and they like opened up,
yeah, they had
I
servers. and-
role played as like their supplier of vegetables and stuff. 'Cause I was a botanist and I was leveling botanist, so I thought I might as well have a bit of fun.
Nice.
Very, very, I fell off that very quickly.
Yeah.
But it was, good on
Again,
them.
I have nothing
Basically, I
against
think-
role playing.
if you take the anime and hentai and snip it off this game, you have wholesome roleplay left.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
I
But you
do.
can say that about any game, though.
Yeah, you can actually.
Well, I agree. Hentai. You should delete hentai. I agree. Delete anime. Let's just delete anime.
What the hell?
there.
I don't agree with that,
kidding.
but
How's Roller
the
gonna get through the evening?
yeah,
I
Rollo
No,
would. That would be the
God,
death of
all
Rollo.
my Anime figures. come
Yeah.
on.
No, I think roleplay is fine. It's very entertaining to witness people that actually do it, like roleplay properly. And also, that there are a lot of people that want to do roleplay, but they are afraid because of the stigma. So like when we did this like public execution of this Lalafell, which was sort of the crescendo. That was the end of our.
Yeah.
That's how
Thinking back, it was quite dark.
Absurd.
What?
It was completely
What
absurd.
happened?
Dude, there was a storyline on Ragnarok that played out over months, but it would all come to an end. Yeah, go on, Mala. Explain.
Lukiel and his brother, Growling, were the guards. Orange was their captain of their like regiment or whatever, and will order them around and make Lukiel do horrible things.
Yeah, what were you, Mala?
I don't really know what I was, but I just sat underneath Lukiel cooking boiled eggs.
Yes.
And giving them to Orange. And then Orange made Orange would eat them all in front of you. And then he made a second character called Aurum Vale, who was the ugliest Lalafell I've ever seen. He was fantastic. And he used to just troll and just it was pretty fun.
Yeah, he was a pest.
He was a pest. And then we sort of kept that up for a while. And then Orange ordered his own character to be killed.
Yeah, but before you get to that, it's important to also note that people would just come up and start like a quest. You know what I mean? Because we were like guards, so they would like initiate like something, and that sometimes that would be people that normally didn't. Like you'd never imagine like raiders would come up like in raid gear. And interact, which was absurd. They saw
it as that they probably knew it was just for fun, and they thought, let's just have a go.
Yeah, because they're like, he's not a role-playing dude. It's probably fine. I'll jump in.
Just like to give a shout out to Walk Denham, the local weed seller.
He sold weed.
Just a shout out to you, Walk. His family had a farm. I miss you, Walk.
I miss you too. Where are you?
That is pretty true. How like good fun roleplay will suck people in.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, we have to get to the. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay, we have to just finish the execution story. We never get to it. As we get to, because we were up at the upper decks at that, that stage where they usually do the events. And as we go there, people in shout chat announce that the execution is now taking place. And I kid you not, like 20-ish people show up. People that I've never seen, people I've just seen like standing around in Limsa, all gather around and like screaming like justice. It was very absurd. And we did the whole trial thing, and he was, we passed judgment.
My lover, I think.
He was your lover.
We went on a date, and I made Lukiel at the time. He said, "What do you want to order?" And the most expensive raiding food at the time was what was it? It was like some souffle or something.
Oh yeah.
I made him buy me an HQ one of them.
And then as the axe fell, we timed it too. Like as I did the emote that I think this is a battle stance emote for warrior. The axe fell and Orange logged out of Aurum Vale and he never logged back in. So that character is dead forever. And that was the end of the whole arc. Because I think the whole thing was that my character didn't want to do anything that was immoral, and this was it. Even though it was immoral, he hated Aurum Vale so much that he did it.
When are you going to integrate that stuff into videos, huh? When's the
That's the story. Yeah, let's do that.
The Aurum Vale arc gonna happen.
Oh, that was fun.
And then we all like ran away.
Then we ran away because it was over. It was kind of awkward after that because you're like, we're done. The story is over. Okay. So roleplay is thumbs up, but don't do erotic roleplay. And I feel like we said that before.
Everything in life, as long as no one gets hurt.
Yeah, everything with moderation.
Don't inconvenience other people either.
Yeah, and don't try and lump cyber sex into RP because that gives RPers a bad name.
Yeah.
Right.
For real, people are like, it's brothels are fine. It's like, no, you're cyber sexing, and that has nothing to do with RP. That's completely unrelated.
Yeah.
Don't lump it in.
Also worth noting that Secrets of a Realm technically is roleplay, the story portion.
Yeah.
So
it is. It is a roleplay in video form. Hey, this is a personal call out to any RPers viewing, I guess. If you have like a little blog or whatever, like just totally DM it to me because I like checking that stuff out.
You want to check out roleplayed blogs?
Well, like,
is that a thing? What is that?
People make their own character blogs. Yeah, they just talked about it.
Oh, did we? Oh, yeah, we did. You're right.
Yeah.
This is a fever dream.
if people want to, if you want to show it off, you can DM it to me and I'll take a look.
Isn't there like a
website
website where you have like a wiki? There is a website. Is it still up? There was a.
Oh god, yeah, your one was fantastic.
Yeah, we had one as well. No longer there though. But
It had his relation. I know no one. Oh god, what was that?
Sorry, it's a very loud car.
That was a ghost.
I know.
It's a spirit.
Lucille Bravestone's family history. No one else.
Well,
does,
it's not
no
canon anymore though.
It is canon.
No, it's not canon anymore. Changed with Roar.
He's lying,
and Soar.
guys. He's lying. It is canon.
None of
Look
you
it
will
up,
ever know
guys.
the canon behind my character.
Your character clawed his way out of the fucking dirt of Gomorrah.
Wow,
That's not true at all.
Did you just say
you're
Gamora?
just a turd.
Yeah, I know. I said Gomorrah. Hold on.
That's a different story.
None of that was true. I thought you were gonna get it right for a second. And I was like, no, we're not even remotely close.
Yeah, Gomorrah from the Bible.
You're a
sinful
biblical
city
character.
that was smited by God. Yeah, yes, crawled out of the rubble of that.
Yeah. Here's another MogMail.
I have Dark Knight. I'm the Dark.
This is from Azure Rose from Odin. Hello, speakers. With the latest raid tier added in 4.4, we got an interesting last fight in AlphaScape 4.0. And after seeing the character models, my question would be, what would you think of some sort of android race being added to the game?
That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe it would make a little sense lore-wise, given that Omega is from a completely different planet, and maybe you're already rolling your eyes because androids are near. But I, for my part, really like the models, and especially the eyes were really good looking. Looking forward to your opinions and keep up the great work, Azure.
The eyes were super cool, but I think they're very humanoid, and I'm sick of humans.
I think it'd be kind of cool to have like Garlean automatons or something like that. Like they gain sentience, and they're kind of like, oh fuck, I can be a warrior now or something. They won't explain ether, but whatever. Maybe they can just capture it.
I feel like they should probably go to stuff that's a little bit easier to implement. That's gonna make a little more sense.
Yeah,
probably. I don't want them to deal with if they're from like a different planet and all that shit. That's gonna be like 8 years of lore that they're gonna have to explain somehow. That's gonna make no sense. And
no, you can have.
How did they fly down during A Realm Reborn?
Right, it doesn't make any sense. That would make no sense, Rolo.
It wouldn't.
They can figure it out. It's how did fucking
Why would it like somebody in chat says
he's gonna come up with a good point here.
Okay, all right, I'll let him come up with a great point.
I'm just saying, like,
how do you explain?
What about Dragon Girls and guys? They just appear. They just appear.
They came along with Yugiri and then went back in time
how
and solved the world. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so then
they don't make sense.
They don't make sense either when they just.
But I would say,
I
would say androids would make even less sense.
Yeah, dude. They don't even if they. Okay, Rolo, if they don't exist on this planet, or somebody in chat said Alec mannequins, that's something that would exist.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would Alec mannequins be able to have the blessing of Heidelin? It's an animate object that has life.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
And why would they go and destroy Allegans?
Right. Why would Heidelin say, this is the most important thing in the world, this robot? He's the one who's going to save the world. That doesn't make any sense.
Everyone in this random robot.
You could easily say something that like, oh, there was a fucking Allegan time capsule with sentient androids that had a time released, and now they're all coming out. And they have all got
the echo.
This sounds like some shitty Terminator spinoff, not Final Fantasy.
What does it matter? It's like
I think we should all take a moment.
Matters,
I think we should all take a moment and appreciate that Rolo has no say in how 14 is going forward.
Rolo is the reason why police cars get put in games.
Yeah.
It's
Rollo's
you.
The problem
it
with
is
the
you.
MMO industry.
It's you, Rolo.
Okay.
For reals, because me and Luki were talking before, like a couple days ago, last week or something, about because wasn't there like a talk about 2 races being added?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And obviously we thought one of them was more than likely Viera.
Mm-hmm,
but then we got onto the topic of Evilisian Moogles.
Yeah, there are 2 races right now that are the hot potato for that second race. It's Ronso or Evilisian Moogles, because Evilisian Moogles would make sort of sense. Both of them would make sense because they're humanoid, and the Evilisian Moogle would sort of fit with the size of a Lalafell, kind of. Although you would have to actually, they aren't like, I don't think they're completely perfectly sized, but they'd have to
But how does that fit in, Lucio? How do you explain Alonzo, man, just appearing at the start of a Realm
See,
Reborn
that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think Ronso is the case, which why I think Evilisian Moogles would make way more sense, because now Dalmasca was mentioned twice in the MSQ, and if we're getting Vieira, Evilisian Moogles would make a lot of sense. But the only issue I have with this is that the Moogles in the Return to Evilie story aren't Evilisian.
Yeah,
that's true. They're just regular Moogles, yeah.
So
I would be happy with a regular Moogle too, but they don't really wear armor in the game.
No. And an Evilisian Moogle is like structured like a person.
Exactly, yeah.
So
they're like little bunny people.
They are.
To be honest, I don't like Evilisian Moogles, so I'm not upset.
I think they're really cool because they're so different from all the other Moogles.
They are different. That's true. I feel like they should have had a different name though.
Yeah. I just feel like after Vieira, we don't really have anything like as strong as a contender. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What you're saying is that there's no other bland human being with a random animal feature left. Yeah.
Well, that,
no, and I agree. And I agree. They have Vaughn. They could do Vaughn. They could do Monkey Man.
I just don't think we have a lot of. I don't think we have a lot of staple Final Fantasy races.
We could do a fish person. Give him fish ears.
Yeah, but obviously not a fish head or anything, just the ears.
No. maybe like a couple haircuts that might look like fins vaguely.
Yeah. But then they can also just have an afro.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Of course, if you want. Yeah.
Afro gills.
Yeah. Maybe we get Evilisian here.
Wow. I'm glad somebody noticed that I said fish ears and no one commented on that.
Oh yeah, fish ears.
With something.
Yeah, there's also that ugly that's a good great sell. But there's that other race in the Evilie story. The ones with
Banga?
Not Banga.
Pigments? Seeks.
Not the Seeks, but the guys that are like the other one. There's another one.
Seek people.
What else is left?
Is it the Numu? Is that the one? The ones that they look like Ellison almost, but they have this.
The cats, the weird cat things.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
they're really ugly though. They're called the Rev. They're called the Rev. Yeah, they're called the Rev.
They're called Revs. REBE. That's what they're called.
How about those, Mala? Would you like to play as one of those?
They kind of look like Louis Suarez.
They oddly do.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Again,
I think getting ugly races is fine. Like,
that's how Makote should have looked from the beginning.
Yeah. There would have been no erotic roleplay in 14. That was.
Wow, what a fucking! That would be the greatest world ever. No kidding. Cat boys and cat girls.
How dare you?
It's like heaven.
How dare you disrespect?
Let's get. You know, Yoshi P has Yoshida's Cat Girl Paradise or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I have Yaz's Cat Free Paradise.
Oh,
come! There's no cats anywhere.
Like I don't like that. I don't want to go there.
I am hoping for Evilisian Moogles. That's the only small race I think I'd actually want to play, other than because Lalafell. I'm sorry to all.
That's disgusting.
You are kawaii sometimes, but I also find it a little creepy.
Orcs. We need.
Oh my god, orcs.
We need orcs.
There's no like precedence for orcs at all. But I think orcs would be cool.
No, there's no reason, and they wouldn't make any. They make about as much sense as androids, but I don't care.
Yeah.
To be honest, if they add Evilisian Moogles, I'm race changing.
Yeah.
If they look cool.
No.
So I like small races. I don't like Lalafells.
Oh, then, but though I have to say, in the Lalafell's defense, compared to other MMOs, it's one of the least creepy small races.
It's yours and fucking Lilins or whatever they're called from Terra.
Things. Yeah, that's bad.
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind like a dwarf, like a big bushy beard dwarf character.
Yeah, I was thinking a dwarf
would make sense though.
I know it wouldn't make sense, but.
I mean, I don't.
No, we find
orcs,
a mountain.
Orcs,
we find a mountain, and Gimli just pops.
Orcs would make a little sense. I mean, it wouldn't make sense in 14's lore, but in the context of Final Fantasy 11 had orcs.
And they have to.
They did, yeah.
They have to speak Orcish.
But there's no, yeah.
Yeah, so when they type in chat, when they're role playing, you can't hear it. You just hear beep bop boop.
I don't think that orcs in that. I didn't like the 11 orcs. I'll be honest. I just didn't like them.
Yeah,
Didn't think they were that good.
look like blobs.
I would like them to reinvent. You know what? I guess that's what I just want in general. I just want something that like actually seems original in some sense. You know, I just
Androids,
like,
they're original, dude.
no, they're not. Because you know what the androids would look like? They would look like anime characters. And that's what we're gonna get. Yes, they would, Rolo.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Look at Omega. Look at Omega. They look like anime characters.
This game is just anime.
Okay,
I know.
Okay. Let's
I just looked up orcs from FF11.
yeah. Don't
They
they
look
look
like
nice? They look like
with
blobs
arms.
with
They look
yeah.
dumb.
Yeah, I don't
To
think
be honest,
it'll
I don't think there's any good options for them because I think the way armor works in this game is the skeletons are all essentially humanoid. Like quite a lot of games, like EverQuest 2 had that problem, and I think quite a few other games have that problem.
Yeah.
I think you can have some varied body types. Is the best we can get. Because you can still kind of stretch the clothing to different sizes and
Yeah, and I would
heights.
say we kind of already have. I mean, look compare a male baby Lalfell to a Al-Ra.
Yeah,
Like those are
Yeah.
pretty different body types. So yeah, like they can stretch it quite a bit. That's for sure.
So I think we'll get.
Maybe, yeah, maybe the people from the New World are all fat or something.
Give me like a really lean race. That's what I want. I want some nice thick muscles. Yeah.
No, I want to be like obese. I want to save the world as basically Dr. Robotnik.
Wow.
I want to.
That's the big Lalafell.
Just huge.
Yeah.
With jiggle physics all over.
Oh hell yeah.
They should like add like just like make a bunch of really basic races and just release them as the two. Be like, there's a third clan. It's Doman now for here.
Yeah.
Just add that. You know, it's like
Doman and Garlean.
Garlean. Yeah.
I think that if Vieira is confirmed, it isn't confirmed, but if Vieira is I mean technically
It sort of is.
It is.
I mean, if it isn't, it would be the biggest outrage in history of man. So it.
And I'd be celebrating.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Dalmasca is going to be the next expansion's Doma. That it's going to be the side story almost, and that the races would make sense that they all come from Dalmasca. I also think the question marks for Rabanastre are, of course, not Evilies. They're supposed to be Dalmasca. I don't know, because I just remember that the other day. I think we've kept saying that it's probably Evilies. It's obviously Dalmasca.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So if it is a race, it would make sense that we get, because they won't do Garlean race. It's basically a long Hure with with a dot in his.
No, it doesn't work.
The only lore that would have everything goes against it working, so it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
They could do it if they made it as like an unlock only thing, and you can Fantasia to them, but you can't start as them. And then from that story part onwards,
sounds messy.
It would work, but not really.
It sounds a bit well, yeah.
What if they added moth people?
Why?
That'd be kind of cute. They'd have like little fuzzy collars or something, and little antennae.
Why is everyone talking about moths now?
Because
they're evil.
I don't know why people use. Why do they use the? I don't understand why they're using it. It's like I read it that way all the time. Oh my god! Can I have a lump? Oh,
yeah.
I'm a myth. Anyways, right. So I think it's either. I hope, dude, it would be amazing if we get Vieira and Rev. Like such an obscure 12 race that no one really like. That would have been great, but they wouldn't do that. So I'm hoping for Evilisian Moogle, because I don't think Ronso makes sense. I'll know that Ronso's been brought up a lot of times now because I'll explain why. Because Blue Fever had before he stopped doing. I'm sorry, I'm not going to bring Blue Fever up again after this, but he the person had a profile picture with
oh fuck.
I believe.
Oh,
that's actually scared me.
I'm sorry.
Thanks, Ronnie.
I believe it was a bunny and a lion. I think.
Oh.
And they said, like, is there anything you want to add? He said, look at my profile picture or whatever. I don't know if he said that, but I think that's like...
I have no
I
idea
feel
what
like I
you're talking
really missed out on everything he did.
He had a bunny and a lion. Okay,
He was posting for a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I just saw like the synopses of it.
Like he started back in July almost, I think.
Yeah. So that's why Rev kind of also could work, because it does. They do have a lion-esque face.
I feel like Ronso just gets brought up because I feel like there is a lot of people that do feel like, okay, I don't want another one of the same races. I feel like that's why people bring it up so much.
Yeah, Ronso's been like something people have been bringing up for a long time, from years. I remember like during launch of A Realm Reborn, people were still on and on about fucking Ronso. Even for Heavensward, they were on about it.
Yeah, I'd take Ronso over pretty much any other choice.
Would you race change? Yes.
No, God no. But like
you want them, but you wouldn't even play them.
No, 100%. I'm not gonna change from Melzen. There's nothing that's gonna make me change from Melzen. But I would like, dude, I would love to have like Sikhs running around the world, Bonga. I want all the ugly shit because it makes it seem like a real game. Makes it seem like a real Final Fantasy, a real fantasy world.
Yeah.
When I'm walking around, like, again, I'm taking back to D&D. If I'm walking around D&D, not every description's like beautiful, stands like a teenage woman. Like that's not fantasy for me. So I think ugly stuff and like making things seem dirty and like not
the spider falls from the
pristine,
ceiling.
perfect,
It's voluptuous bosom even.
Right, exactly. Like I don't think everything needs to be that way.
Right.
I agree with you, yes, but I don't think that's ever going to happen in this game.
No, that's not, again, because it's an anime game and that's all we care about.
Well, but do you remember that one quote that Yoshi P said? Was like, we can't add like more faces or we don't want sliders because we don't want people making really ugly characters.
Yeah, that are not in line with the Final Fantasy brand. Yeah,
it's like anime characters. You can't tell them apart because they have to be.
Yeah, it's weird because I said something to that effect, like, oh yeah, because there's an expectation when you play a Final Fantasy game that you are going to
want ugly characters.
Have a certain standard.
Right. There's never been ugly characters before. Look at fucking Sid from Final Fantasy IV. Have you seen that dude? The goggles and the beard and the hair that sticks straight up. It's a hitty. Like
it is weird though, because if you look at all like the face presets in the game and all like the hair, well, I think some of the hair sorts are kind of weird, but none of the faces are like ugly. At worst, some of the guys are kind of like chiseled or like.
Here has one ugly.
The Lukiel Bravestone that I made was pretty damn ugly.
but it's like it's a really chiseled masculine face. You know, it's not necessarily ugly.
The face we're talking about is the Badron face.
How about this, Rolly? You're pretty into anime stuff. So if we want to stick within the realm of anime tropes, but actually have someone be ugly, right? Because anime characters are never ugly. What about the stereotype of those little tiny old Japanese ladies? You know, the ones that always have like a staff and they're like, yeah! Like how about those? Can we get that in there then?
Into in Suino Sato?
If it has to be anime, let's play as those then.
Yeah. What? Okay.
You know what's the opposite of that? Okay, this is gonna be a poll. This is for people who know.
Matoya. I was gonna mention Matoya, by the way. Yeah,
pretty much.
Matoya. Yeah, there you go. But the masculine version, for those people that have read Dojins, there's like the fat bastard guy with like the pig face tongue, like and all that stuff. That would be the masculine equivalent of that.
Just get Seeks,
man. Jesus Christ, yeah. I think at least I know that the Hero ones have one. Actually, I think they have two. I won't say which the other one is because I might offend someone's characters. I'm not thinking a lot of people play with the face that I talked about though. The first one, the one.
You'd be surprised.
Mila remade my character with that face.
You said if you want to join the podcast, you have to have a male character as your
That's not what I said.
And I said, okay, well, I'll make a few options. I made
Roll, I got the same message. You know what it said.
And then I made, okay, well, as a joke, I'll make a copy of you. And then I clicked on that face. I thought, wow, this is brilliant. But yeah, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to let Lukiel boss me around.
It was for use in Roar and Soar for voice reasons. That's why.
Yeah, but it's that never.
But Mila was like, I'll just make Lukiel, but I'll pick an ugly face.
I picked a beautiful face.
I'll just pick an ugly face. No one will notice. Okay. With that, this was a very messy episode, but we got through it.
We did it, lads.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Speakers of Eidolon. Remember to follow us on Twitter at speakersxiv.com, youtube.com/speakersxiv, twitch.tv/speakersofeidolon, !! Discord in chat if you want to join our Discord server. If you're watching live anyways. If you're watching on demand, link is in the description. speakersxiv.com/MogMail. Just send MogMail. Please send us MogMail. Also, if you're watching live, a post-show is coming up, so make sure you catch that. That will be premiering Fallen Rise episode 8. So we'll see you there. Bye everyone.